Hey all, good morning and welcome to Share Trek. This is Raj here, and as you can see, I'm very relaxed and I'm already in my holiday mood. This evening, we have some family visiting us from US, and they're going to stay here for a couple of days and leave on Monday morning. So I'm looking forward to their visit. It's going to be a lot of fun for us here. That's what gets me to the holiday mood. That said, let's get on with our morning show. There are a few things that we can expect today. The QQQ, as you have seen, has been in a range-bound manner for the last 3 days, with 278.43 acting as a support. But yesterday's high was way lower than that of the last 2 days, indicating a little bit of weakness. I'll talk more about it when we go into the TradingView platform and look at QQQ. Today is Friday, and the options expiry will also be added to the mix, and we'll also get the jobs report. And if it breaks the expectations, we'll have a bad outcome. Let me explain, as this is bizarre. Typically, what is good for the economy is good for the share market, but not this time. At the current index levels, economists surveyed by the Dow Jones expect the report will show that payrolls increased 275,000 in September, while the unemployment rate held at 3.7%. So that's the expectations which is underpinning the current market levels. If we end up with a lower unemployment rate or a higher payroll increase, the market would expect Fed to be bullish and the strong rate hikes. Therefore, the indices will drop in anticipation of the strong rate hikes. On the other hand, if the employment comes under 275K and then the unemployment rate goes above 3.7%, it's a signal for Feds to ease up and the indices will spike. In any case, regardless of however much the payroll increased, if the unemployment rate goes up, expect the market to spike. If the unemployment rate goes down, expect the market to drop. So that's what I think we have to keep in mind. I would have already recorded this video by the time the stats are out, and so I'm wishing you the very best. Meanwhile, we should not forget the US-Saudi oil production cut spat that needs to be watched very closely. It's for the first time showing that Saudi Arabia may defy US. The consequences would be dire for the Saudis, as their military hardware and systems are American. So expect Biden administration to take strong measures, as the action from Saudi Arabia will impact midterm elections, more so because the Saudis have offered discount to Europe. So it seems like a selective action. And I think we should see some reaction from the US very quickly. So now let's go on to look at the pre-market price action and take a look at our TradingView platform. Here we are in our TradingView platform. I'm looking at the Nasdaq futures out here, and you can see that we are down 0.39%. I believe that the market is still trying to make sense. We have a doji candle out here. Everybody's waiting for the jobs report to come out. And as I mentioned earlier in my monologue, that's what is going to determine the direction. Right now, we have resistance at 11597.00. So the best outcome for us from a market perspective would be that we break through above this resistance. From an economy perspective, the best outcome would be that we continue to go down. So that's how I would look at it. But what is good for the market is good for all of us at this point of time. That's how we should think about it. And we should hope that the unemployment rate goes up, and as a result of which we'll be breaking through these barriers and going up again, and the Feds will start easing on the interest rates. Next, I'm going to look at US oil. And in case of US oil, we already see the oil cut spat showing a steady raise in the price of oil. This is not good for the economy, and we want this to be under control. I would expect the Biden administration to come out with some strong measure that sends a message to Saudi Arabia and the OPEC countries, and makes them understand that this is not the right time to hike the rates. If that happens, we'll be testing our support, which is 88.00. And if that doesn't happen, we'll be testing our resistance, which is 91.70. The MACD is already bullish in anticipation, and the momentum is above average and picking up. And pre-market, we are already up 0.44%. If you go to QQQ, you can see what I was talking about in my monologue this morning. We have a resistance which is at 282.40. So we're going to test the resistance today, and we are at a support which is at 278.43, and we are going to test the resistance today, both depending on the outcome of the jobs report. And if you see this particular line of resistance out here, I'm just going to fine tune it a little bit. I'm going to bring it a little bit lower. So this particular line of resistance was active on 22nd of September 22, and it reacted again on 4th of October. It reacted again on 5th of October, and yesterday we just barely pierced through it and came back again. So today I think we are going to be between these two ranges. The MACD is bullish, but the momentum doesn't show much strength. S&P 500 is up 0.05% pre-market, but it was down 1.03% yesterday. Again, the same dynamic applies out here. We are weaker today than we were yesterday, and we are still below this diagonal bearish line of resistance from a long time ago, which is a strong bearish channel in which we are proceeding. And today we are at the level at which we were when we closed yesterday. We are just up barely 0.05%. So I am thinking that this diagonal line of resistance is going to be the challenge for us today. And if we break through that based on the jobs report, then 376.38 is going to be the next resistance. MACD is bullish, but momentum leaves a lot to be desired. And if you look at the Russell Industrial Average, it is up 0.31%. Pre-market, it was down 0.56% yesterday. So we have not yet recovered yesterday's loss, but we are straddling this bearish line of support out here, which has been a line of resistance for the bear channel earlier, but could potentially become the line of support for a future bear channel. So we are having a moment of indecision out here. When the market opens, we'll find out what it's going to be. Right now we are at 174. We are still above this diagonal line of support for us, and if we continue in this direction, then I am afraid that we have a resistance which is going to come to us. It's a minor resistance, which is going to be at 176.82. Right now we are at 174.26. So that's going to be the next level of resistance, and our support is going to be this diagonal line of support out here, which is going to play out for us today somewhere at around 173.38. And failing which, we have another line of support which is at 172.14. MACD is bullish, but momentum is below average and it's not very conducive at this point of time. Dow Jones Industrial Average has got no movement at this point of time. It's around 7:12 in the morning, but I can say that we still have a strong resistance out here from 301.49. MACD is bullish, but momentum is below average. So today we'll have to break through this line of resistance, and if we do that, then our next resistance is going to be this minor line of resistance, which I'm going to just draw forward just for our sake, and this is at 305.20, which is going to be the next line of resistance. And our support is this diagonal line of support, which was earlier a diagonal line of resistance for our big bear channel. And if we break down below that, it will convert that line into a resistance line, and we'll have support from 295.61, which is this yellow simple moving average line, which is a 10-day simple moving average. So that's what we are looking at today. And if you look at the VIX, at this point of time, we have a very, very, very small candle, and that's at the upper end of yesterday's range, and we are down minus 0.59%. So we are still waiting there, trying to break the resistance of this 10-day simple moving average, which is this yellow line, and it's sitting at 30.71. Right now we are at 30.35. So we have to see what happens with this, because MACD is bearish and momentum is above average but pointed down. And since momentum is above average, anything could happen. We could pick up again. All depends on the jobs report. And now that said, let us look at the US dollar index, which is down 0.11% in pre-market action, and it's getting effectively checked by the 10-day simple moving average, which is this yellow line out here, and it's sitting at 13,404.04. Right now we are at 13,398.24. This is what we have here, my friends, and we are in a diagonal bullish channel. It's bounded by this diagonal red line above and this diagonal green line below. And that's where we are proceeding steadily. It's not good for the markets, but it is what it is. And if you look at the technology movers of the index, I'm going to look at Microsoft first. We still have gaps which are to be filled for Microsoft. So Microsoft definitely has a negative push out here because it needs to fill up these gaps. It has refused to do that in the last 2 days, I'm going to move this line of resistance a little bit up because that's where it potentially belongs. The line of resistance now sits at 249.86, and our next support is going to be this 10-day simple moving average thick yellow line, which is sitting at 240.89. Pre-market we are down 0.32% and sitting at 245.99. Our MACD is bullish, but momentum is below average and pointed downwards. Apple is down minus 0.40% pre-market. It's being pushed down by the 10-day simple moving average, which is sitting at 146.39, and our support is going to be here at 142.27. And our MACD is bearish and momentum is below average and pointed downwards. And we also have a gap that has to be filled here. I would say it's a very minor gap because if you consider the wicks, then the wicks are more or less touching each other. So there is definitely a little bit of a downward pressure out here. Looking at the pre-market action, Amazon is down minus 0.29, and it also needs to fill up this gap out here. There's a big gap which is left out here. So there is a downward pressure for Amazon, and we have a support which is going to be at 115.08. If we break down below the 10-day simple moving average, our resistance is at 121.51, which is this thick fluorescent blue line, which happens to be the 100-day simple moving average. And beyond that, we have a resistance from 122.46, which is this diagonal, which is this horizontal line of resistance, which has been with us for quite a while. And if I look at Google, Google is up 0.03%, but Google doesn't have any gap filling to be done. It has a support which happens to be the 10-day simple moving average sitting at 99.72, which is this thick yellow line out here. And there seems to be some kind of a resistance, minor resistance operating somewhere around 102.62, which is most likely to constrain us today. And if we break through that, then our next resistance is 105.06. Again, my friends, everything depends on the job report. And today I'm thinking of selling Bluebird, and I'm looking at FNGU, which is the FANG index, 3 times leveraged. So that is something I'm looking at. And I'm also looking at something called as QYLD, which is again another attractive option for me. I'm looking at those two things. I'm very inclined to sell Bluebird today. Let us see what happens in the market. And either I sell call or I sell it, but I have to take a decision today. Next, I'm going to go and have a look at commodities. Wheat is down 1.66%. It's nicely staying within this bear channel. So I'm happy about that. And we have support from the 100-day simple moving average, which is 74.34, this thick fluorescent blue line. And it also has support from the 10-day simple moving average at 74.15. And basically, it's still in this bear channel. So that's a good thing for us. Copper is down minus 0.23% in pre-market action. And it's getting support from the 10-day simple moving average at 3.40. MACD is bullish and momentum is still below average. So I'm not too much worried about that. It's still in a consolidating range out here. If you can see in the last 15 to 20 days, we have been in a consolidating range. That doesn't mean much at all. And let's go on to Genomics. I'm going to sort this to get the biggest winners on top. SQs at Biotech turned out to be the biggest winner with a gain of 9.41% yesterday. And today there is no trade for us pre-market. We still have resistance from the 50-day simple moving average, which is sitting at 2.91, which is this thick orange line, failing which we have resistance at 3.02. We can go all the way there depending on the outcome of the job reports, or we may come and test the 10-day simple moving average at 2.39. So those are the possibilities there. Bluebird was up smartly, 8.02%. Pre-market, it's down minus 0.80. A little bit of trepidation here. I guess many people are looking at the raise of Bluebird and the recent tie-up it had with real endpoints. Check out my video yesterday. That's another positive catalyst, but there is nothing about SkySona yet. There is nothing about the funding, and they still have to look at other areas where they need to market their therapy. So all said and done, it's a bit iffy at this point of time, and people possibly are having second thoughts about Bluebird. That's what is being reflected here with this minor minus 0.80%. Again, the jobs report will have a great impact on this. And if we did go up, we have this diagonal line of resistance, which was the support channel for a previous bullish channel, which we were on earlier. So that would take us to somewhere around 7.98 at the upper level. and on the bottom we have 6.86. So it's a very wide range within which we are. So jumps, if any, can be strong, and drops, if any, can also be equally strong. Right now the MACD is bullish and the momentum is also above average with plenty of room to run out before we go to the 70% on the RSI. So it's looking bullish out here, except for the pre-market action, which is strongly negative. I'm going to look at PSEB now. PSEB was up 4.89% yesterday, but in pre-market action it is down 1.60%. We have a resistance for us, which is operating at 7.06, and our support is going to be the 50-day simple moving average, which is this thick orange line sitting at 6.16. And MACD is bullish, and momentum also is looking strong. So that's a good support for PSEB as well. Intelia is up 2.91% as of yesterday's closing, but today we have no trades pre-market. We still continue to have support at 60.88. Caribou Biosciences was up 2.06% yesterday, no trades pre-market today. And we still continue to have support from 10.82. And our next resistance is going to be this somewhere out here. I'm going to draw a minor resistance for us out here. This is where we have stopped in the past. So this will be a minor resistance for us. And if we cross through that, and it's going to sit at around 11.65, if we cross through that, then definitely we are looking at this diagonal line of resistance, which was earlier support for a bull channel. Now let's look at Editas, which was up 1.76% yesterday, no trades pre-market today, and our 10-day simple moving average at 12.60 is giving us support today, and our resistance is going to be 13.14. Our MACD is bearish but tending towards a signal line. Momentum is below average but picking up. I can't make any call on Editas today. Everything depends on the job report. Allogene was up 1.62% yesterday, and today there is no trade pre-market, and we have been effectively checked by the 200-day simple moving average sitting at 11.16. Our MACD is bearish and momentum is also below average but picking up. Again, I can't make any calls here. CRISPR Therapeutics was up 0.97% yesterday, and it got effectively checked by the 200-day simple moving average, which is this thick white line sitting at 65.32. And our next resistance is going to be 66.36. Our next support is sitting at 64.33, which is this thick yellow line out here. It's a 10-day simple moving average. Everything depends on the job report, my friends. And let's look at Beam Therapeutics. It was up 0.77% yesterday. No trades pre-market. Verve was up 0.53% yesterday, and pre-market it's down minus 0.58, almost given up all the gains that it had yesterday. And if you were to look at the support, our support is coming from two simple moving averages, which are the 10-day and the 50-day simple moving averages, which are sitting at 34.52 and 34.65 respectively. Those are going to give us support today, and our resistance is going to come from this diagonal line of resistance, which was earlier a diagonal line of support for our strong bull channel that we had, and that's going to give us a support which is going to be somewhere around 37.95. Right now we are at 36.13. MACD is bearish, but momentum gives me a hope that we are going to pick up again today. And again, finally, it all depends on the jobs report. RG was down minus 0.03% yesterday, no trades pre-market. IDNA was down minus 0.36% yesterday, but no trades pre-market. IMTX was down 0.38% yesterday, and no trades pre-market. And yesterday's was a doji candle, so there was indecision. Our support is a twin support coming from two simple moving averages. The 100-day simple moving average, which is the green line sitting at 9.80, this thick green line here, and we have the 10-day simple moving average sitting at 9.83, which is this thin yellow line out here. So those are the two supports that we have, and our diagonal bullish channel from the past is going to be a resistance for us, and it's going to give us resistance at 10.94. So that's what we have out here. And our MACD is MACD is bullish, but momentum is just at average. So I'm a bit iffy on that. Teladoc was down minus 0.81 yesterday, but today is down minus 0.15%. We had a doji candle yesterday. We had the support here at 28.04. Today we are at 26.77, so I think we are already below that, so this becomes a resistance. But I'm not going to change the colors right now because MACD is bullish but momentum is below average. I would like to see what happens after the market opens. DNA was down 2.42% yesterday. It's further down 0.62% today, and it's not looking great. But in the charts we have a bullish MACD and we have momentum which is above average though pointed down. So I think we are definitely going to test our resistance at 3.20, and after that we are going to test the resistance at 3.14, which is the 10-day simple moving average. And after that we have the 50-day simple moving average sitting at 3.01. so these are the various levels of support that we have, and we are definitely going to test them today. Illumina was down 2.65% yesterday, no trades pre-market. We still continue to have support from 210.87, and our resistance is going to be this minor line of resistance which we had in the past. I'm just going to draw it out here, and it's going to sit at 230.32. Right now we are at 212.72. MACD is bullish, but momentum is falling and it's above average, so I won't rule out a bounce back. Invite was down minus 2.90% yesterday, and it has already regained most of the loss from yesterday. It's up 2.24% today. So it continues to have very strong support from 2.56, which is the horizontal line of support, and also 2.55, which is this thick yellow line, which denotes the 10-day simple moving average. So those are the two supports. MACD is slightly bullish, but momentum is below average and pointed down, but pre-market action gives me some hope. So friends, I would continue to say that everything depends on the job reports today, and we also have the option expiries going on. So it will be very foolish to predict what's going to happen today. I don't think many people know about it, and I don't know for sure. But I have some actions to take on Bluebird. You have your own actions, and you know what it is. So do your own due diligence and do what is right for yourself to safeguard all your gains that you have, if any, in your portfolio. Because if there is a downturn, then you can capitalize on it. So that's what calls for covered call selling. That's the best tool you have at your disposal. With that, my friends, I think I would like to bring this video to an end. Thanks for being a loyal subscriber for so long. Indeed, I'm quite fortunate that we have around 664 subscribers. I'm really thankful for that, and our community will grow slowly. I just need to put in more efforts and come up with really great videos, and I think you guys will remain here to continue watching it and being the subscribers to this channel. And I would also like to request you to subscribe if you are not yet done already, and a like from you goes a long way. Thanks and have a great day. I'll come back to you with my next video later on today. Bye for now.